New albums in my collection. It's Rob here with another video, and thanks for joining me. I've got a stack of stuff to show. So stuff I bought online from local record shops, and got some car boot sale stuff as well to show. So better get cracking, got a lot of stuff to show. First record I want to show is the 45th anniversary of David Bowie and Low. So I've been listening to quite a lot of Bowie. I do have an original copy of this album. I bought it from Wax and Beans. If you're in the Manchester area, go and check out Wax and Beans in Bury. I'm sure Ben will make you very welcome. And this comes on lovely orange vinyl with Bowie as the custom label. I love that. It also comes with this original looking sheet here. So really pleased to have this one in the collection on orange vinyl. David Bowie and Low. Paul Weller has reissued a couple of albums recently, and one of them is Illumination from 2002. Paul Weller's 6th album, and the opening track on this album is great. Going Places. It's Written in the Stars was a hit. Leafy Mysteries, Standing Out of the Universe. It's just it's got a couple of guest appearances: Noel Gallagher, Carleen Anderson, and Kelly Jones from the Stereophonics. So playing this back after 20 years, it's dated really well. I really like Illumination by Paul Weller. So show you the label, and this also comes with a booklet. So when this came out, it was a little bit of a silly price. It was like 40 quid, but I kind of hung around a little bit, managed to grab it for just under 30. So really strong. 8.5 out of 10 album, Illumination by Paul Weller. Here's a band that regularly gets spoken about on my videos. The Inspiral Carpets and The Beast Inside. The second album by the Inspiral Carpets. So the Inspirals are reissuing their 4 albums in fact, from Mute. I showed live on a recent video, and just before Record Store Day, Revenge of the Goldfish is coming out on orange vinyl, and Devil Hopping on red vinyl. So I think I'll be buying those instead of sort of wasting my money on Record Store Day. So this is a double album, and this contains a couple of singles, Caravan and Please Be Cruel. But it comes on really nice purple vinyl. But when it came out, it wasn't as well received as live. But I think it's dated really well, and it's my favourite Inspirals album. So The Beast Inside from 1992. Now, I was at a record fair in Manchester, and I was flicking through some cheap records, and there was a guy stood next to me. And he kept pulling records out. I'm thinking, you know, when someone's next to you and you're pulling around, thinking, what is he pulling out? And I just commented, I said, oh, you know, you're doing well there. And he said, oh, hi, I watch your channel on YouTube. So I'm like, so he says, it's Rob, innit? So I said, yeah. So he was called Stuart. He's from Widnes. So if you're watching, Stuart, it was really nice to meet you. I spoke to him for a while. He said he were planning on maybe going over to Utrecht, to the big record fair over there. I think it's in April. And I said, you know, it's been really nice meeting you. And he said, oh, I feel like I know you, because he knew about my pelvis. And I said, you know, is there any other channels that you watch on YouTube? And he said, yeah, I love John, 6-inch Pianist, and I really like James Griffiths. So yeah, if you're watching, Stuart, really nice to meet you. And at the record fair in Manchester, I saw the Jam's Greatest Hits. So this is a record that I remember seeing a couple of years ago, and I left it behind. So when I saw it, There was no way I was leaving it behind this time. Contains 19 tracks. It doesn't have Bomb on Water Street on it, which is a shame. But it's got all the Jam singles, and it's also got the 2 imported singles, That's Entertainment and Just Who Is the 5 O'Clock Hero. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty compressed, but it sounds really good. And there's not many Jam albums to get, so once you've got the studio albums, this is the kind of thing that you've got to try and pick up. So really nice find, the Jam's greatest hits. From the same record fair, picked up The Adventures of Sham 69, the Hersham Boys. So it's actually called The Adventures of the Hersham Boys by Sham 69, let's get it right. And this came out in 1979. I like the gatefold there. Jimmy Percy was the main guy in Sham 69. Comes on a white polydor. A nice image on the back. So Hersham Boys, I remember being in the playground and people singing Hersham Boys. It's also got a track called Questions and Answers, which was a single. But playing this, I really enjoyed it, and it's not an album that I've seen knocking around. So The Adventures of the Hersham Boys by Sham 69 from 1979. Now a bit of promotion again for Wax and Beans in Bury. So we had a sale just before Christmas, and he had this for £15, Percy by the Kinks. I think this was a Record Store Day release, and it's a picture disc. So for 15 quid, I thought it was a nice pickup. I don't have that many Kinks albums. I keep hearing people talking about Arthur. I think that's maybe one I need to pick up, but 15 quid, I thought it was a really nice pickup. Percy by the Kinks. Here's an album by an artist, a female artist, one of my favourite female artists. I can't remember ever seeing this one on vinyl before. It's Bulletproof Heart by Grace Jones. So this is from 1989, and I paid 9 quid for it. I picked this up from the record shop in New Mills. Great record shop there, Adam. And slowly but surely, I've got most of Grace Jones's catalogue, and this doesn't disappoint. It's actually on Capitol. But yeah, it's one of those albums that you sort of, when you see it, you think, oh, I can't remember ever seeing that one before. And it's in excellent condition. So yeah, I love that jacket as well. Grace Jones and Bulletproof Heart. A band from Liverpool who I saw in 1986 was China Crisis. And this album, Flaunt the Imperfection. So Flaunt the Imperfection, I went to the tour for this album. I used to have this album, but it had a blue jacket. I'm not sure what happened to it. So Walter Becker from Steely Dan produced this album and also played on quite a few of the tracks. And this contains a couple of decent sized singles, Black Man Ray and King in a Catholic Style. China Crisis don't really get a mention on the VC very often. I think they're one of those 80s bands that's pretty decent. So yeah, it's a good album. Usually pick this up for £4 or £5. Flaunt the Imperfection by China Crisis. Is a record. I do pick up bits of jazz, but I don't tend to show them on my channel. I know there are some people who are into jazz who do watch this channel. So I picked up Archie Shepp and Montreux 1. So I paid a tenner for this, and I thought that's a pretty good price, because when I go to record fairs, Archie Shepp records tend to be quite expensive. It's on Arista. I streamed this before I bought it. I do have Coral Rock by Archie Shepp, and it's pretty wild. But I listened to this in the shop and quite, I really enjoyed it. So I thought it was quite a good pickup for a tenner. Archie Shepp and Montreux 1. I saw this 12-inch. I can't remember ever seeing this before on 12-inch, so I picked it up. It's Echo and the Bunnymen, and I promise I'm going to pick up any Echo and the Bunnymen 12 inches that I see. So when I saw this, I had to pick it up. It's from 81, I think. It's from the album Heaven Up Here, and it's one of my favourite tracks. On the B-side, it's Broke My Neck, which was recorded in Norway in 1981. Really nice jacket as well. A Promise on 12-inch by Echo and the Bunnymen. Richard McCook. I'm sure most people know Richard's channel. If you don't, then go and check him out. He does a lot of ranking videos, and he's recently ranked orchestral manoeuvres in the Darks albums. Didn't have any orchestral manoeuvres in Dark or OMD albums. I saw this one pretty cheap, so I picked it up. DAZZLE Ships from 1983. Contains the single Genetic Engineering. I do like how it's a die cut sleeve as well. So on Richard's ranking, he had this one. I don't want to spoil it, but he likes this album. But when I played it, I was quite surprised. It was pretty experimental. Not really what I was expecting. I think after Architectural Morality, I think that's what it's called, a bit of a tongue twister. OMD had maybe picked up a fan base that weren't really ready for this album, but it's dated really well. Really like it. DAZZLE Ships by OMD. There was one Talk album that I was missing, and it was The Party's Over from 1982. So this completes my Talk collection. And this contains 3 singles. And Talk really went into quite an avant-garde direction at the end of their career. You can hear a little bit of that on this album. It's a good album, good debut. Starts off with Talk, which I've always liked. I always thought Today was a great single, and Mirror Man was a single as well. Very strong album, wasn't that expensive. The Party's Over by Talk. I went to Reel Around the Fountain, great shop in Stretford in Manchester. I don't know the name of the guy in there, but I always chat to him. He gives you a discount, decent discount as well when you buy stuff. So I picked up Pete Townsend for a £5. And All the Best Cowboys Have Chinese Eyes. I think that's the worst, certainly one of the worst names for an album. But I like Pete Townsend's solo albums. I really like White City. And this came out in, I think this one was 82. And this contains a track called Uniform, which I woke up one day and I was a mod. And me and my friends, there was a gang of us, sort of turned mods in 82. Good timing really with the Jam. Sort of went to see the Jam just before they split up. And a track on here called Uniform, which is, we always thought it was about mods, a little bit sort of Quadrophenia-like. So, and this is an album I've never had. So, yeah, All the Best Cowboys Have Chinese Eyes. Decent album by Pete Townsend. And another album sort of takes me back to my mod days is 9 Below Zero. And this album, Don't Point Your Finger, which is really good, sort of R&B. A little bit like Dr. Feelgood. It's on A&M. And this is a promotional copy as well. And it's really solid. Dennis Greaves went off to form The Truth in 83, who spoke about them before, great band. But this is a good, strong album by 9 Below Zero. In this shop in Manchester, they do tend to have sort of a lot of Manchester related artists. And I picked up some New Order 12 inches. So 1963, which was initially the B-sides True Faith, was released as a 12 inch, as a single. I'm not sure on the year on this, 95. I'd not seen this on 12 inch before, so I picked it up. And then also he had these other 12 inches with sort of different remixes. So from the album Crystal, which was a late 90s Joy Division, New Order album, I think. So this has got tracks Crafty and Jetstream on it. Sort of different mixes. Excellent stuff. Originally these came out for $3.99, so I paid a £5 for these. And he gave us a discount at the end, so it's pretty good. And also this one, which contains different remixes of True Faith and Regret. So some nice new order 12 inches. Anything factory that I see, if it's a decent price, I'll pick it up. Now we've got some car boot sale stuff, and the car boot sale season has started. So I picked up Who by Numbers on this pretty rotten sleeve. The dot to dot's been done. Paid a couple of quid for this on Polydor. It's got a squeeze box on it, and there's more to it than that. It's a decent album. A couple of quid from the car boot, Who by Numbers. A couple of 12 inches for 50p, Heaven 17. So when the two guys, Martin Ware and Ian Craig Marsh, left the Human League, they formed Heaven 17 with Glenn Gregory. These are on BEF. And in '82 they were playing this in the clubs, I can remember. Really liking Heaven 17. And this one as well with a great jacket, The Height of the Fighting. Another really popular track from 1982. These are sort of 12 inches that in the UK you can usually find for 3 or 4 quid, but certainly don't find them for 50p. Also found this for £1, Dave Brubeck's Greatest Hits. So don't have much by Dave Brubeck. So I've got his greatest hits now, so I'm not sure how much more I need. But for £1, I thought it was a pretty good buy. So yeah, Dave Brubeck's Greatest Hits. And also for £1, someone who I've not got anything by is John Lee Hooker. So House of Blues. So this is on the budget label Marble Arch. But it's really nice clean copy. So pretty pleased to have that one in the collection. Don't have that much blues. This was 50p. Sandy Shaw. The Golden Hits. I do really like Sandy Shaw, which is pretty nice. Bit of graffiti on the back. But for 50p, again, this is on Marble Arch. And it's pretty clean. So she did a bit with the Smiths in '84. Sort of raised the profile a little bit. But I've not got anything by Sandy Shaw, so I have now. This was the best find at the car boot sale. Tom Waits and Blue Valentine. So I'm someone who doesn't like Tom Waits. Well, that's what I thought. I've heard bits by him and I'm never in the mood. It's on Asylum. But to see a Tom Waits album for £2, you've got to pick it up. The first track is Somewhere, which is from West Side Story, and I absolutely hated that. So I sort of started doing stuff around the house and left it playing. And when it had played, I had to play it again. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, maybe I'll pick up more Tom Waits. Decent album. Really enjoyed it. Blue Valentine by Tom Waits. And how are we doing for time? Doing well. So Rod Stewart and the Faces, a live album. This was a couple of pounds. This is it when you go to a car boot sale. You just never know what you're going to find. This is a nice clean copy. When it comes to Rod Stewart, anything sort of before sort of 76, then I've got a bit of time for. Anything after that, really, I don't think I'm that interested. But this is a decent live album by Rod Stewart and the Faces. I do have some singles to show as well. I was missing sort of one classic Madness single. It was the Prince, so I picked it up for £1, but I actually got it for nothing because the guy knocked so much money off, so I actually got it for nothing. So Madness, the Prince from '79. Icelandic Fun with the Sugar Cubes and Hit. Alan Price, Simon Smith and his Amazing Dancing Bear. I always loved that song. 50p to pick it up. This was a nice find, Sugar and Your Favourite Thing. Nice custom label there, Sugar, good single. You Little Fool, I think it's from Imperial Bedroom. Again, 50p on F-Beat. Paid a £5 for this. So the Go-Betweens, you don't see their stuff very often. This is a double single. The main track is right here. When People Are Dead, A Little Romance, and Don't Call Me Gone. So a nice double pack by the Go-Betweens. Higher and Higher, 50p by Jackie Wilson. Paid a £5 for this. One of my favourite indie bands from sort of 88, 89. The Brilliant Corners and Brian Ricks. Great single. Don't see it very often, so I had to pick that one up. And finally, I did show TV21 from Scotland in a recent video. I found this single for 50p, Snakes and Ladders. So I picked that up. And a quick CD for 50p. This is why people buy CDs. 50p, The Byrds, an album I don't have, Mr. Tambourine Man, for 50p. So car boot sales, online, local record shops, bit of everything. If you've got any comments about what I showed, I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching and bye for now.